morning, everybody. What is going on? We are back again with another episode of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Silverback Senpai, and you already know across the table from me is none other than my co-host, Waluigi.
Good morning, fellow gamers. How's it going? Oh, wow. It's been a week. Time's been going by so slow.
Well, it's been going by pretty quick for me. So with that said, we would like to introduce our guest, Dredknot, aka from DK Battle Lounge.
Morning, everybody. How you doing?
Doing good. How's it going, brother?
Man, it's early morning, but we chilling, man. We chilling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You already know this episode of the podcast is available on all audio hosted platforms except SoundCloud, not except SoundCloud because their monetization suck. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and talk about our guest today. So we have our tradition here at the podcast where we like to ask our guests for the very first time when they step on the podcast, what got them into gaming. Like, we want to know that gaming background, that gaming origin story that got you into gaming. Like, what was the come up? Like how did you get into video games? So
Okay.
the mic is all yours.
Got you. Well, hello, everybody. I'm DK. I go by Dredknot. I host the DK's Battle Lounge. That question, it holds weight with me because I have two older brothers, right? And I used to always admire watching my older brothers play games, and they'll have friends over and stuff like that. I was the younger one. I'm the youngest of
I
three.
understand that feeling.
Yeah, and but I remember, my eldest brother, he would have some friends over. They'll play N64, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, and it's such a fun time. The whole works, right?
Yes.
Doritos and Mountain Dew, right?
The classics.
And I just observed as a outsider wanting to be in, and I thought it was so fun, right? So outside of not necessarily being able to play because my level of understanding wasn't quite there, what happened was, when they would leave, I would hop on the N64 and I'm playing Pokemon Stadium. I'm training in the mini games. I'm playing Smash Bros, learning how to recover to the stage. I'm playing GoldenEye, trying to find the golden gun, right?
Yes.
So I'm doing all these different things, and it really got me into gaming because I realized, oh shoot, this is a whole world. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole universe.
Oh, I understand completely.
Yeah. So the same friends that my older brother used to play with, they got really deep into MMOs.
Really?
Right? Like, I'm talking about, Cabal, Fly for Fun. Never really got into WoW, World of Warcraft, but like they got really deep into MMOs, and so that was what I was exposed to. And the other friend used to play a lot of fighting games, right? So I was there emulating Street Fighter 2 Turbo, trying to play Ken, trying to figure out the combos on the keyboard and this, that, and the third. So that was my debut to gaming, really observing my older brothers playing the N64, having such a great time, local co-op, just having nights out with the homeboys. And those friends that I now looked up to in the gaming realm, they were playing MMOs, they were playing fighting games, they were playing shooting games, and that's what I got into,
Damn, that's cool.
Okay. So I want to ask you this then.
Tell me.
Give us your top 3 gaming consoles of all time growing up.
Oh, gosh.
There are no wrong answers.
Yeah, sure. So it's not going to be all home consoles for me, right? Like, because being the youngest of 3 kids, I wasn't always the one to get the home console. So I definitely say, like, up there, top 1, like, DS Game Boy, right?
Ooh.
I'll probably put DS, right? Because I was a little bit more attached to that one. Right, so the whole DS library, the 3DS library, I'll group them together. But, you got some of the greatest Pokemon titles. You got some of the greatest RPGs. You got the remake of Chrono Trigger. A whole bunch of stuff, right?
That.
Yeah, so DS for sure, number 1. I'm a Nintendo guy, so, that's the move. The next one, man. PS2.
Yes.
Yes, that's always a
PS2.
good choice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the golden era, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite genres for video games is RPGs, and you can't beat PS2 for RPG.
Oh no, you can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Like-
you cannot.
Rogue Galaxy, Final Fantasy X, like some of the greatest RPGs of all time have graced PS2 and have been remade and remade and remade. Outside of just like the local co-op like masterpieces, right?
Right.
NBA Street Volume 2.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone say it yet, actually.
Yeah, that's whew.
Listen, if you grew up around during my era or during my time, like especially during my high school years, like NBA Street 2, NBA Street 2, and NFL Street, those were the go-to games.
For sure.
Those were the go-to games because you would have everybody at your house playing. Those were the go-to games, and you have like 4 guys in the living room playing NBA Street, another 4 guys in another room playing fucking NFL Street and whatnot, and then another room you have some people playing Def Jam. Like that's why that era, especially with the PS2, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, that was like when EA actually made like really good games.
EA big.
Yes,
big, for
EA
sure.
big.
I'm
yes.
so sorry to be disrespectful, but yeah, that's not the only time.
Yeah. I mean, they had some great games. Some of them I wasn't too fond of, right? Because, mind you, I didn't have the PS2, my older brother did, right? So I would see like PS2 through his library, and also my barbershop, like in the corner, they had a CRT and a PS2 and like a little selection of games. So when I'm at the barbershop, we're playing WrestleMania and shit like that, right? But he had Freestyle. I don't know if you ever heard of that game. It's like a dirt bike racing game.
Oh,
Sort of like SS Tricky in a way, right? But it was with dirt bikes. That was a dope game. SS Tricky was another one.
I remember that.
It's outside of PS2, but it's the same. It's the same generation.
I know about
Jet
SSX,
Set Radio.
Freakstyle.
Jet Set, yes.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio.
Classic.
That's a banger.
Yeah. So that's my number 2, PS2. It's fitting. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Can't deny that.
Third, man, like if I'm being realistic, third would have to be like Nintendo Switch, man.
Really?
That's a new one.
It doesn't
Yeah.
miss a beat.
That's
The whole mission to port everything to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't miss a beat. Like all the games that you would ever want to play for the rest of the time is on the Nintendo Switch. And it's portable. It's a home console. It has the couch co-op games like Mario Kart and Smash Bros.
That's true.
It has, it's one of the most full-fledged consoles to, be in modern day.
I can agree with the versatility.
Yeah.
And the fact they just open source recently with more like Nintendo, like 64,
Right,
instead of
exactly.
Super Nintendo. Like they're actually adding more into it.
It's a cumulative console. It has all the experiences in one.
Respect to that, even though it is subscription based, it actually has the opportunity to play those games. Like, hey, you could at least play them for a certain price.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, the older consoles, once it's outside of their cycle, you start looking into modding, and the modding of the Switch is insane.
It's
man.
crazy.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. So I think that console is overlooked because it's really truly great.
All right, well said. Well said. All right, so that being said, and you already told us your genres of your games or whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So during which time of your gaming era were you like this? For you, it was like your peak era. For me, it was of course the PS2 era. That was like my peak era of gaming. So for you, what was like your peak era of gaming? Whether it's like between Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, that's that era. Then you have the N64, PlayStation, and I believe the Dreamcast, if you want to include that as well. Then you have PS2, Xbox, GameCube, then PS3, Xbox 360, and now the previous era is PS4, Xbox One. I would include PC because I would say in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, PC gaming wasn't at its peak, unless you're like playing MMORPGs. But I would say like PC really started grow to their peak from like last gen, where it's with PS4, Xbox One, and then PC. Because
I agree.
I remember, and I'm pretty sure everyone remembers the E3 conference, the Xbox One conference.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's when a lot of people who were on Xbox, it was like, you know what, I'll get a PS4 and a PC.
And a PC, yeah.
And that's when you start seeing the number of people, gaming on PC started to rise.
For sure.
And now we are in this era where it's PS5, X Series, you have the Switch, and now also, of course, PC as well. So for you, what would be like your golden era?
Gotcha. That's a good question, right? Because like I said, like, my start was on a lot of PC games, right? Like, weird, obscured MMOs, right? But I'd say in terms of like my golden era, that would be like GameCube. The GameCube times.
Yeah.
That is a good era.
Yeah, really
Because
good era.
I have really fond memories and just like constant repetition of playing these games. I would play Soul Calibur 2, Sonic Adventure Battle 2. I would play, Double Dash with my brother. Like a lot of those games are ingrained in what I know. Like even some of those soundtracks, right? The soundtrack from Most Wanted, the soundtrack from NBA Street Volume 3. Like I know those soundtracks quick, right? So they're ingrained in what I know and what I, treasure as video game history and lineage. So I'd say, the GameCube, what's adjacent to the GameCube, PS2 and Xbox?
Xbox, yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox
so
One.
I would say that for sure. And I think, when I look back to my top list of games, especially the most impactful games, I would say like Melee and things like that. It comes from that era. So, yeah. And it's weird, and I got, the reason why I mention my brothers so much because, I got to give it up to them because, if we're being realistic here, right? My prime time should have been like, just by age, my prime time should have been PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Because, that's when I was mingling with my friends and, I was in that age group to be really exploring gaming like that to its fullest potential. But, I was exposed to, cause that was the last era before online.
Yeah.
Right. So I was exposed to the last generation before online really took over. Right. And I think it's a whole different like ballpark when you talk about online Call of Duty, online competitions. It's a whole different ballpark. So I hold GameCube, Gen 5, Generation 5, I think. I hold that generation pretty dear for sure.
I don't blame him because I was in that generation too, and I was very active in that generation because I was also playing GameCube as well with some of the RPGs that they had, Fire Emblem
For sure.
Oh my God, is it
Skies of Arcadia? They had a little port over there to GameCube.
Bro, there's just so many games. I'm just trying to remember, but my age is showing. So
yeah. I was playing like the what was it? I was playing the not an online version, but more of like a free moving version of Yu-Gi-Oh back then on the GameCube.
Oh,
I remember that.
I remember that. You had your option of choosing which Egyptian god are you with, the character you're playing, how it's set, and it's just like very 3D.
okay.
Like that era of gaming, like anyone, especially around my age, would say like that before online gaming took effect, like that was like the highest peak of gaming that you could possibly ever get.
Absolutely.
Because of the fact that you had a bunch of wonderful games, like a lot compared to, what we have now. Granted, gaming is good now, but
Solid.
we didn't have to deal with, microtransactions, DLCs and whatnot. Like, hey, if the game was like, if there was like a glitch or a bug, hey, you just had to deal with it. It's like,
or they had to make a new game back then.
Oh yeah, and make another game. Like, okay, we got to make another game. Like, maybe 6-8 months down the road to patch that up or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say around that time, like that was the best time to game because I remember most of my friends, most of us would have a PS2 or a GameCube, and maybe a few of us we would have an Xbox. Like it was mandatory around your crew to have these consoles, and then of course it was also mandatory to have these games because it's like, bro, if you're not playing this game, then it's just like, bro, you missing out. If you ain't playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, like, bro, you missing out. If you ain't playing NFL Street, then I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna beat your ass in this game because hey, you ain't had the game, you ain't practiced.
Yeah, that's on you.
True.
Yeah, so it was mandatory. Like we made it mandatory. Like, bro, we're gonna have this game. If we didn't have that game, then we're like, all right, let me borrow it. I'll let you borrow another game.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Do people still let other people borrow games now?
Not as often, man. Not as often.
Damn.
And that's where
game share.
you can game share, but I feel like people aren't sharing experiences with games like that. Everybody's so kind of in their niche of what they like to experience that they're not sharing those experiences. Like, yo, check out God of War real quick, play that game, come back a few months, let me get it back.
Yeah.
They not. That's not really happening.
It's a shame, man. And I feel for the young generation that
they don't have that.
They don't get to experience that. Like, bro,
but
y'all don't understand.
They barely play consoles, bro. That's what I noticed. You know what I'm saying? The young generation, man, like the real youth, they're playing phone games, tablet games,
or they just watch other people play games. Which is
fair. Yeah, which is fair. I'm not gonna knock that, right?
You can't knock that at all.
Because that's how you learn, right? How else is a 7-year-old gonna learn what the Super Nintendo is, right?
That's true.
But they don't even have the interest because these mobile games are so quote unquote fun. They don't even have the interest in consoles.
And then of course it's also free.
Yeah, barrier entry, man.
That's true.
You telling me I gotta come off from work, take my kid to GameStop. He gotta go look at this wall, find some game that he liked, and then I gotta pay my. Come on, yeah, go download that app real quick.
Yeah, you just don't go to a GameStop anymore. It's like, oh yeah, Mom, this game might be M, but all my friends play it.
Yep.
And then a parent just buys a game. You don't do that anymore. You could just download it off a credit card.
Facts. The cashier can convince you otherwise.
That is true.
Yep.
Things have changed, but I always tell people that are extremely young, like especially if they're 15 or younger. I was like, if there's a place that has retro consoles, play it. Yeah, of course the graphics don't look up to date, doesn't look up to par. It's blocky as shit, but understand that we as gamers, we had to use our imagination to make it feel like this is the best shit ever. Like we were playing literally the best game ever, and for me. I would say when I was playing Super Mario 64 for the first time, and I'm like, I forgot how old I was. I think I was maybe 12 years old or whatnot. I was blown away by the graphics because I've never played a 3D open world Mario game like that. That's unheard of. Now, if you were to tell a kid that now, they'd be like, okay, cool. I'm just like, man,
it don't look like Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't throw my hat. I get that though. I get that.
Even playing Mortal Kombat as a kid, wow, these people getting hurt look so real.
Yeah, the realism in some games, and I was gonna say Mortal Kombat is pushing it further and further away from kind of like that use of imagination.
Yeah,
you don't have to use any nowadays, man. The Last of Us, when you play Last of Us, it's cut dry. Your characters, how they look like, the story, everything is there for you. You don't have to use any interpretation. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of games, a lot of AAA titles right now are just like that. So,
that's a good point.
Kind of sucks, man. That's why I like Nintendo. They keep the essence.
Yeah. I can't blame them. Granted, their online is extremely abysmal.
For sure.
But when it comes to the nostalgia factor, keeping the tradition of gaming, Nintendo got that.
Yeah.
And they're making some strides here and there to improve it, to bring some of the games that were back from the old past that we loved and enjoyed, slowly bringing them in, slowly introducing the new generation
with network play.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
To be like, hey, here are some games that we used to enjoy when we were your age, and you get to play them. Granted, yeah, as I said before, the graphics gonna look blocky, it's gonna look wonky or whatnot, but this is what we had to play on consoles back then that we would have to go out and buy or get the cartridge and go.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't supposed to, but it worked anyway.
Right.
Exactly. Or
cotton swab in the alcohol.
Bro, yes.
Yeah.
I did that recently, 5 or 6 years ago. I used to do that just because I found an old console and I'm like, let me see if this worked in games.
Yeah.
I discovered that at the age of like 21, and I was just fucked up. I thought I seen it all. I'm like, people are supposed to do this?
Yeah. Man, it's it's something about it, man.
Oh,
Yeah. Kind of miss it, you know?
I do.
Yeah. I remember like when I was younger getting the like Game Boy cartridges, and you just have the instructions and such.
Yeah.
They came with the box that you open. People now preserve them.
Yeah. I found so much joy as a kid destroying that box.
Yes.
Before we
Thank
got
you.
home.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming out of Toys R Us or Target, and I'm destroying that
Yeah,
box.
now you see people grade them with acrylic.
Yeah. Man.
They put like an acrylic slab onto them. This is a grade 10. This may cost like $10,000.
If I knew.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, bro, I could have saved me so many boxes and kept the
Yeah.
game in mint condition to the point where it's just like, bro, I could sell this for how much?
An original copy of any Pokemon game.
Oh
You
yeah.
up.
Yes.
Up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So with that being said, with our next topic, we got to ask you, what are your current thoughts on the state of gaming?
Oh. Man.
I understand this.
Yeah.
We
You got to take a minute on that one.
Yeah.
Because you got to
gra-
process everything.
Right. There's a lot going on. And since I'm so involved in it right now, there's a lot of thoughts that come. I love gaming. I love gaming as it is now, right? One of my favorite things though currently is not a game or a game mechanic or whatever. I think it's people watching people play games. I just think that's amazing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think the influence of what Twitch and game streaming and YouTube gaming has done for the gaming industry is incredible. I think, some of like the viewership numbers that League of Legends championships and Capcom championships get
Yeah.
is just like absolutely incredible. So I love like that video games, contrary to the beliefs of people outside of the industry and outside of the interest of gaming, contrary to their beliefs, video games is a spectator event, spectator sport.
Yeah.
And that's what I like currently. Like, that's a really good thing. That's a really good direction for gaming to take. In terms of actual gameplay and how the people are in the community and how the games are taken, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
For sure, it's a mixed bag, right? You mentioned something earlier, microtransactions.
Yeah.
Especially in our realm when it comes to the FGC, that's a huge difference we just experienced, right? We're coming from Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, where they release new games
It's
and
like
give
boom,
you
boom,
a
boom.
significant update, to now where we seasons, like a service game. And you get these seasons and you get these balance passages that change the whole game. And it's different, costs more.
Yeah.
Right? If it's warranted, I'm not too mad at that cost, but sometimes it's not so warranted. But that's a huge difference that we're experiencing. So not necessarily positive or negative, but that whole microtransaction or kind of preying on the gamer's pocket a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a little odd.
Especially if you ever want to buy the regular edition of a game or the ultimate edition with all the DLC, or wait till the DLC comes back or the season pass. What I do like with Street Fighter 6 is how they have rentals, or like rental tickets to play
a dope
a
idea.
character for an hour
Yeah.
and see how you like it.
I like that.
That is definitely dope.
Yeah.
I will say for me, of course, microtransactions. I feel like it should be done away. Unless if it's in a game that's free to play, fine, I don't mind it. But if it's a game that I had to drop $60 to now $70 and y'all got microtransactions,
Yeah.
and it's with cosmetic items or whatnot, I'm like, bro, why? Like, why can't we just play the game for hours and hours and hours on end and unlock these skins in these games or whatnot,
Or earn them.
or earn them?
Having some kind of way to earn them is, I think, the middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I don't think anybody's going to be angry at the fact that we have more options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? A quick example I can pull from is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter 6, but each costume costs $17, right?
Yeah.
You know, the same way that somebody might rock a Louis Vuitton bag or, you know, like some designer pieces of clothes that cost an extravagant amount, that's their options and that's what they opted for.
Yeah.
Right. So there's going to be plenty of people that are happily paying that fee to play their favorite turtle. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's mad at the option, but the middle ground, because we like the grind.
Yeah.
Like that's what gamers do. Like we love gaining XP, we love leveling up, we love the grind. So give us that little incentive that we can work towards. And that's going to be the middle ground between striking the balance of a microtransaction and, you know, something that we can work towards. So, I mean, like, you know, it's a lot of money being made, so I don't think they're going to do away with it. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think that's the move.
And with that being said, like a lot of money being made, and they're not going to do away with it. I look at games like Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, and I'm just like, bruh, the fact that y'all release these games yearly, and y'all have microtransactions, and then the content that people bought and paid for don't transfer over to the next game, because all it is just roster updates. Maybe y'all include maybe a small little new feature every now and then, and I'm just like,
Or somebody that just got drafted.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And I remember I was scrolling on Instagram or whatnot, and there was a video of a person that I forgot his name, but he made the argument that games like that, like FIFA, Madden, NBA 2K, those games should be free to play because of those microtransactions. And not only that, it comes out every year. So you could have just made the game like, hey,
Service game.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just like with gamers, they're gonna keep buying it, they're gonna keep playing it. So it's like
100%.
the developers and the company, they'll be like, well, if people won't keep buying it, and we keep making millions, we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, when was the first yearly iteration of those games started, right? Like, you know, there's people with fond memories of Madden 95. You know what I'm saying? Like, these games date very far back, right? So now,
very far back.
So now, when you're looking at it, like, all right, cool. Of course, I can just release 2K, NBA 2K, right? No year, and just continuously update it every season in the actual sport. Right, I could do that, but why?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a business, I'm a company, I'm a multi-million-dollar company. All right, there's no reason for me to do that.
Exactly. It was like, yo, we finna get that, $60 out of y'all this year.
Regardless.
Plus VC.
we finna get all of this. Y'all gonna buy these microtransactions. Guess what? We're gonna give it to you again next year, different game. And yeah, all the shit that you bought on this game, it ain't gonna transfer over.
That's true.
Also,
So-
the fact that it's like mystery, like booster boxes or gambling
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
Like people would try to be grinding for Messi, Ronaldo, Tom Brady, or some shit like that.
For sure. For sure.
Christ.
I think there's a little bit of excitement in the release too. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same excitement that you get for the release of a new movie.
That's true.
Like a new Transformers, new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You get that same excitement when Kobe's on the cover of 2K. You get that same excitement when there's another like huge release of one of your favorite sports games. Right? So there's power in anticipation of a release. Right? Because those rollouts they're nice, and not many companies can rival the sports games rollouts when it comes to video games. So I think there's a little bit of power in the release.
Yeah, definitely. I just wish that, hey, if y'all want me to come back for Madden, because I used to play Madden and I stopped after 2007 because that was like my graduation year, and everyone's going their separate ways, and I was getting more into action games, and I was also getting more into fighting games as well. I was like, all right, I think I'm done with Madden, because everyone that I used to play Madden with, they done went their separate ways. I done went full into Def Jam, and I was like, I'm done with Madden. And I was like, I want to try to come back, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. I see how they treating y'all. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll stay where I'm at. Nah. If they bring back NFL Street,
That's
you'll
different.
get me back. You'll get me back.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see.
You don't get me back if
I don't
it's
know
NFL
how
Street.
I don't know how they would capture the same essence though.
That is true.
Did you play home court, home style? It was the last NBA Street on PS3. A little bit more realistic graphics called Home Court.
Nah, I've not.
Right? So like it's reminiscent of like, Street Volume 2 and NBA Jam a little bit. That game, it lost the whole vibe of Street, right? And it ended with that. Like the fire just it completely extinguished. So I don't know if they do it again, right? With graphical improvements, with game improvements, like I don't know if they would capture the same vibe.
Yeah, I feel that, and I was the same way with Def Jam when they made Def Jam Icon. I was like, okay, new game for the next gen console, whatnot. I like the graphics or whatnot. Cool. Play the game. I was like, bro, what the fuck is this dog shit?
Yeah, this ain't it.
Like, bro, y'all had the formula right with Fight for New York, and then you go to Icon, you're just like,
even Vendetta, bro. Like I know Vendetta doesn't get much love, but they had 2 examples of great games that you just
like they fumbled
I'm wondering they're actually
big.
gonna make another game for Def Jam.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Nah, I mean I think that licensing agreement is gone somewhere. Shit.
Pain.
Yeah, because when I thought about it and I looked at and I'm thinking about Def Jam Fight for New York and Vendetta, I was like, okay, if they were to make another one, and especially with how streaming has become very mainstream, there's gonna be a lot of copyright issues or whatnot because you're playing the game with another person's music in the background and whatnot.
I'm gonna keep it a buck though. The rap industry back then and the rap industry right now,
It's 2 different people.
it's 2 different breeds.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Who's gonna be the Crow? Who's gonna be Snoop? Who's gonna be Redman? Like there's no personnels, no personas in our current rap game.
Yes.
That's gonna play those roles, right?
Yeah.
So
you're right.
it's just not feasible. You know what I'm saying? You take the top 100. I don't care who's in your 100. You take the top 100 hip hop artists. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to create a compelling roster.
No, bro.
I agree.
It's going to be an
I agree.
eyesore in all honesty.
I agree. Because I
Now-
remember seeing that argument on Twitter and I'm like, bro, compared to what we have now versus back then, it's just like, I wouldn't even want it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want it because it's like, it's not going to hit the same because they captured that magic back then when we had a lot of good talent, whether you had people you had rappers from the South, you had rappers from up north or towards the West or whatnot. Like you had a good variety. Like,
Yeah.
and you could bop to anybody's music too.
For sure.
Compared to now, it's just like, nah.
It's
Nah.
We've made a little transition into some of my favorite artists too, but Kanye and Pharrell, they kind of made it okay not to do the whole gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? And that was 05 to 09. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
During that transition, now the whole gangster rap thing has kind of been thrown out the window. So the whole roster of Def Jam Fight Fan Y, everybody's big and bad, kind of putting on this, whether putting it on or living it, but they're putting on this kind of character.
The facade.
Yeah. But now it's like that.
It died out severely.
Yeah.
Nah.
I agree.
But I would love to see outside of Def Jam or whatever, right? I would love to see a musician fighting game. That would be dope. I know it'd be defamatory, but some of the all-time great musicians like
Oh, okay,
Michael
I was ready to
Jackson.
say, I'm like, there's God of Rock technically, but it's not. I wouldn't really count it.
Yeah. I like that game, by the way, but not necessarily a rhythm game though. Like a WrestleMania kind of
even
game,
better.
Yeah.
But with musicians like Michael Jack busting some moves. You got Buddy with the guitar just smashing in your head. Like all musicians, because thing with Def Jam is it's just rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That would be dope to me, but that's gonna have to be some Mugen or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like a Mugen because the last thing I want to see is Beethoven write how he's just gonna have a symphony of beating your ass.
Facts. Man.
All right. Our next topic. You had to be there moments. So on every episode or any episode that we have with a new guest, we always ask them, what are some moments in gaming that, like, yo, you had to be there when this happened? And we've had we had plenty of stories. Some
online,
offline, some relatable ones. But what was like a moment in gaming that was just like, bruh, you had to be there to experience that? So,
that's hard, right? Like I'm not gonna be able to pick a particular moment. But what comes to mind for me, man, like, and especially because it's kind of gone, right? I remember coming so E3, right? E3 in general was like right there when summer break from school started. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have the whole 3-day showcase. Each company would have their display of what they're doing, and that would be like right as you get out of school. So you know, summer just starts. You got that major excitement. You coming home, you watching the convention. You had to be there to experience that, right? Like I wasn't at E3, but I was experiencing the at home excitement, the excitement with my friends.
Yes,
you know, like that. It's kind of gone. You know, Summer's Game Fest and Game Awards. All right, cool. But E3 was a different, like, completely different thing.
Yeah, it was a different beast.
It was all over the place. Like, it was hard to keep up with certain consoles. Even the new updates, the introductions. What's gonna pop up next summer?
Right. But there were so much small things to that experience, you know, like I don't know if y'all ever watched G4.
Yeah.
The channel G4 that would cover, you know, do like recaps.
Mandatory.
I used to get Game Informer magazines come through with the recap from it. IGN was in its earlier stages during that time. So like there were so kind of smaller intricacies of that experience and what would, you know, go into it. I think, you know, if you haven't experienced the excitement around the E3, that's something that you just had to be there for, right?
Definitely.
And now that I'm in the, you know, FGC and I'm really invested in it, I think major tournaments are an absolute like experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, right? You know, people with their own interests would love to, you know, correlate something to it, right? You know, it might be like a, you know, typical convention, or, you know, it might be like a regional TCG event, but there's nothing like a major FGC tournament. There's nothing like it. So, you know, I implore you, if you've never been to one,
or at least watch one.
Shit, man.
I would say like, Waluigi, like watching one, it's fun, it's good, but it's just like you won't get that energy when you're like in that environment. Like the energy is like, yeah, you're at home, you're watching, you have a good time. When you're there, and you know, you and I,
Oh yeah, I meant for people that are like before they even go to one, at least try to know what you're getting yourself into.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's just like it's everywhere. It's just like you can just be completely immersed in this environment and be like, bro, I can play whatever against anyone and just have a good time.
Literally.
Yeah. And the excitement when you're watching the matches, when you're watching people on, you know, playing and whatnot, and it's a really close set. You can feel that excitement. You can feel the
intensity in a way.
The intensity, yes. There we go. Thank you.
For sure.
Like it's nothing like that before. It's nothing like that. Granted, yeah, you have your locals, you have some intense and hot sets, but at a major, it's like 100 times.
You see it live in public.
Yeah, it's 100 times bigger.
100%.
Like, just to bring back an episode, we've seen people talk about Evo, like what happened, what went on, the past, the future, how it's seen, and even like how there were matches that should have been online or like on stream that were off stream, like Daigo versus Menard.
Yeah,
like
bro.
People that watched that publicly and had their cameras all out and screaming, like that's real hype. That's the intensity right there.
Facts. Shit.
Bro, when I saw that, I'm just like, whoever the TO is, I need to have a word with you. Be like, bro, if I'm there and I'm running bracket and I see, okay, Daigo and Mena RD, they're about to fight. I'm like, bro,
that's
put that on stream. Put that on stream. Like, no, that
can't just float in pools. You know?
That you cannot.
That cannot float in pools.
Like, nah, bro. That shit got to go on stream.
That was hilarious when I heard about that.
Yeah.
Bro, I was at home. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. They allowed this shit to happen, bro.
Yeah.
Fire to Tio.
It's like 2005 YouTube where everything is less than 720 and you're just seeing all these cameras around certain angles. You see people recording this match.
Yep.
But yeah, just all that energy and then at an FGC like event or convention or wherever you're at with like some good people or at least meeting new people. It's a lot of fun.
100%, bro. Anything that you're interested in or you're passionate about. Like, I love music, right? So, I reckon I can, I've had, it's a little different, but, a similar experience at a music festival, right? Mm-hmm. Say, you're watching a live performance of some of your favorite musicians, right? And you may not have the access that I have to walk up to Punk and talk about his recent match and his tech, but, you have access, right? If you wanted to make that opportunity happen for yourself. So like anything that you're really passionate, invested about, when you go to something that just brings the entire culture together, it's incredible. It's incredible.
100%.
I absolutely agree. I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, there's more had to be their moments. You know what I'm saying? But
share 'em.
I mean, I just can't, go through my mind and figure out the ones. But I'd say E3 and majors, man. Like
what's something crazy you saw at a major?
Something crazy.
Yes.
Damn. What would be crazy? Shit.
Like a good match, a good fight, something you got yourself into, something you got yourself out of.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of great matches. That's what that kind of environment breeds. But
even hosting something, like some people do side tournaments, side brackets.
Wait, didn't Friday you and Sukiyomi, y'all were talking about your experience at Evo, and you were like, I was like overhearing it, but I didn't hear the whole thing. But there was a moment where you was like, you screamed out a window of like money matches and people came through.
Yeah.
Explain that, bro.
Please tell us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was a good experience. So yeah, as CEO, actually, we so it's Sunday, right after Street Fighter 6 Grand Finals, right? So all the excitement has kind of dwindled.
Yeah.
So everybody's going back to the hotel, and there's this crazy line. Were you guys in the official hotel?
No.
Nah. All right. There's this crazy line trying to get up to the elevator. Like, I'm telling you, this line wraps around the entire hotel. So we're like, no way. We're not waiting in that, bro. So we're chilling in the lobby, right? We're talking to some cats. We're like, yo, bro, I don't think you can stack up to my room. We had a couple guys. And we kind of tangled with the idea of like, yo, what if we just called out money matches right now, right? So we're in this line to get into the elevator now because it's smaller after like 15 minutes, right? It got a lot more condensed. So they're in that line, probably 55, 60 people. We're like, yo, money matches, and we called out the room number. It's like 945, right? So we called it out like twice. There was like, yo, what game? Or, you ain't serious, this, that, and the third. So it was like, all right, cool. We got reactions. And that's really all it was. We weren't thinking that people was going to show up. So once we got in the elevator, went to the room, our walk to the room was like all the way to the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. So the whole walk, we're like, money matches 945, money matches 945. 5 minutes as we get into the room, we hear, right? And we're like, yeah, we don't expect nobody. Low key, we forgot. Forgot we did this shit. Like we sitting in the room, we're like, damn, how we gonna set up Strive? You know what I'm saying? Like we sitting in the room trying to figure shit out. So forgot, and some cat knocks the door. And he was like, yo, I heard those money matches over here. And I was like, oh, real? Somebody came? So boom. It was a crew. Actually, it was 5 cats. They came from South Carolina.
Oh my
Mad
God.
cool, man. Like I wish I knew their names, but cool cats. They came in, and I was like, all right, boom. Y'all got 5 people. We got 5 people. Room versus room. We just keep it a buck. So I put $20 on the dresser, right? He was like, oh yeah? Put $20 on the dresser. We got $40, right? It was like, all right, time to pick the game, right? Street Fighter 6, of course. You know what I'm saying? The
Nice.
finals just ended. I know somebody's trying to pick up Blanca, you know?
Exactly.
God.
So we play Street Fighter 6. We get absolutely washed, bro. Mind you, T.O., not a competitor, right? and I'm the anchor.
Oh no.
I'm the anchor, bro. So we get absolutely washed. We barely touch their first person, right? Because, you know, like it's going, you do the set and then the one person gets eliminated, you do the set. So it's, you know, 5v5, right? Absolutely washed. They take our money, right? And the reason why I say these are cool cats, because they took the money and bought the room pizza. So they went downstairs, bought some pizza, brought it back up. We running sets. So at a certain point, mind you, 5 + 5, that's 10. We ended up with like 15, 16 homies in the
Oh my God.
in the hotel.
Damn.
So now I had to, you know, use my ingenuity and my TO hat, and I flipped the beds to be like a bench,
No
right? So
way.
people could sit long way on each side of the beds, right? So we got, you know, they called up the big cats, right? And I called Island, but you know, that was
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We were all
yeah.
chilling.
Yeah,
We were out of it.
because you know I don't know why people like to talk shit to Island, but man, they got a kick out of it. They was talking madness, right?
People get bored.
So they called up some of their friends. They was like, "Yo, y'all can't touch them." And I was like, "Shit, I ain't got much friends, but you know, I know some cool guys, right?" So you know, we ended up with like 16, 17 people in the room, and we was just playing Strive, we was playing Melty, we was playing Street Fighter 6. I had 4 setups. You know, I carried my shit with me. You know what I'm saying? I had 4 setups in the hotel, and it was such a vibe, man. It was such a vibe. Definitely hot. Definitely
Yes.
hot.
Yeah,
you can imagine.
with body heat and AC not strong enough.
Yeah. No, it was hot.
Yeah, so with body heat plus barely any AC running at 60 degrees, you're most likely going to get within the 80s and 90s.
And
With that
4
being-
setups, not PS5s. I'm talking full-fledged PCs. Yeah, it was hot.
Shit.
Right? But, you know, either way, right? You know, you got to bump elbows with, you know, Strive champion over here, French bread champion over there. I'm talking to this guy about MMOs. Like, it was just an absolute moment, right? And, bro, you know, for me, like, I always find majors to be a huge networking event.
Oh,
Like,
hell yeah.
if I see somebody, yo, how you doing? Let's talk. Let's chop it up. You buying junk food arcade buttons? Yeah. All right, bet. Let me see how those feels. I'm talking. I'm networking.
You're interacting.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I'm back at the hotel and I'm about to get ready to, you know, hop in bed, there's no like point in time where I would have come across any of those people. So it was a really key moment in that journey. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. Now I gotta ask this:
Tell me.
Are you looking to do the same thing in CEO Taku?
Absolutely.
You know what? I'll join. I'll
Absolutely.
join. If there's no Islanders, I'll join.
For sure. No, I'm taking it to a different level though.
Oh God.
I'm doing that shit different because you know the hotel is tight, it's hot. Like I'm not really about that. I'm about a real experience. You know, like you know, that's all I'm about. I'm about putting on events and experiences, right? So if I'm able, mind you, see Otaku's 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But if I'm able to put together, you know, an Airbnb situation, have proper ventilation, you know, get some drinks, maybe have 6 to 8 setups, maybe have some loud music playing. That's like a real house party kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if I'm able to put that together rather than just some bullshit hotel, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll
Oh yeah,
see.
definitely.
You can hit up DK during See Otaku and see what we got going on.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot of fun, especially if MK1 around the corner.
That shit, man. I'm excited for MK1. I'm not gonna lie.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same.
I'm super excited. I think they did an interesting change. You know, I was talking madness with my brother before June 2nd, before Street Fighter came out. Really, before it got announced. You know, really. And I was like, bro, you know, it'd be the coolest shit if Street Fighter was 3D.
That
He
sounds like
and he
Tekken.
looked at me like, bro, what are you on?
That sounds like Tekken with extra steps.
Yeah, bro. But I thought changing the formula, like something so drastic as making Street Fighter 3, they did it before, but making Street Fighter 3D would have been incredible. And I think Mortal Kombat has struck the balance of not going that far, but making like a Tekken Tag tournament kind of style Mortal Kombat with the cameo system. I think they've fucking knocked that shit out of the park.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
not
why
bad so far.
MK is probably going to be the de facto of the 3 games coming out.
Yeah.
Right? I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? But
It is a possibility.
I think it's a high possibility, man. It's gonna be the king of, the giants that we got coming out.
I don't know. Good.
Talk to me.
I don't
It's
know.
debatable.
It is, because when it comes to Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, of course, they're kings in their own retrospect, because I grew up with Mortal Kombat. Like, that was my first fighting game before I got into Street Fighter. But I respect Street Fighter and its history of the games. I've played their games, and I respect it, but it's just like Mortal Kombat is my home.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like, who's really going to take the crown as, the king of the fighting games,
It's questionable.
It is, because especially when you talk about Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, it's just like, for me, it's just like, there are some things that I do like what Street Fighter is doing, but Mortal Kombat is like, maybe it's getting there, maybe it's not. And it's not the fact that I'm doubting it. Like, I can tell you that Street Fighter 5 and Mortal Kombat 11, I would say Mortal Kombat was a little bit more better than Street Fighter 5.
That's agreeable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The whole V
Yeah.
trigger system triggered a lot of people.
Now,
V system was
previous generation, you had Street Fighter 4 and Mortal Kombat 9. I'm just like,
those are neck and neck, but Street
yeah,
Fighter,
They were
those are
extremely.
yeah.
But Street Fighter had more impact though.
yeah,
Yeah.
It had a hell of a lot of
I
impact.
think people would agree upon its impact, but I think MK9 was that's what put MK back
Yeah.
to its glory,
Yeah, and with MK1, I feel like we're gonna see that. And it's just gonna be a clash of the two giants again.
Sure.
And then of course Tekken, being a king of itself in its own, because that's the 3D fighter.
Yeah, that's a
when,
real
when
one.
you look at all the other 3D fighters, it's just like Tekken always stands out
Oh,
as the
yeah,
top
100%.
one.
Sure.
Even though I do like Virtual Fighter 5, and of course I do like Dead or Alive. Even though Dead or Alive,
You know what we forgot to mention? Fatal Fury. That's going to be like possibly next
Yo.
year in 2 years.
Yo, I'm hyped for that.
I saw the
What?
graphics and it looks so much better than the last KOF.
Man. Oh, I'm hyped for that, bro.
That's just like a secret like fighting game that most people forgot about.
Garu too. But no, quick observation for what you were saying, man. They have different key aspects, right?
Yeah.
And I think one key aspect has been overlooked within like the recent culture of gaming. So you look at Street Fighter 6, especially now, right?
Yeah.
Colorful spray paint, all these colors on the screen, right? Very cartoonish. The graphics are good, but
and it's
still
also very accessible.
very accessible, right? So all that color and the cartoonish graphics and the suspension of belief of me throwing out fireballs and this, that, and the third, it makes it very accessible. It makes it friendly for any audience. Now,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat on the other side, right? It's more intended for a mature audience,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Throwing knives into your skull and seeing it actually enter your skull with this X-ray vision is pretty violent and probably not, accessible to
The younger-
11-year-old Jimmy over here, right?
Exactly.
And then of course Tekken is the true martial arts of the 3, right? So if you study, and and a lot of people do, if you study any martial arts, you're gonna mesh with the character that practices your actual style, and that's where Tekken comes in, because it's a culmination of all big martial arts. So they have these key aspects, right? Something that happened though, talked about it a little earlier, is that little 11-year-old Jimmy is no longer being filtered.
Yep.
He doesn't have GameStop cashier being like, "Do you want to give your kid that M-rated game. That's no longer happening,
Nope.
right?
Yeah.
11-year-old Jimmy's playing Grand Theft Auto, seeing Franklin flat, stomping a skull, right?
Yeah.
So now Mortal Kombat, outside of what it may have should been intended for, is now reaching a new audience, right?
Most people become desensitized.
Correct, right? So that's why I think it's still, be it violent and made for a more mature audience, it's not really restricted to that. So that's why I think with its gameplay, sure, we'll see once it comes out, with its gameplay, it's probably going to be, crowned. That's my little 2 cents, though.
Okay. Because overall, when I think of all these games, man, it's just like, bro, FGC's eating good.
Deadass.
Like no one's stopping.
Deadass.
Yeah,
And we
and
even talked Project L.
Oh god. I think we briefly mentioned it, but it does look good. With
Yeah.
the 4 characters they showed, the fact it's tag team, it's a double style like Smash, which I've never heard of in a fighting game.
You never played Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
No.
No, 2 individual players.
Yeah, you have 2 individual players
didn't
or
know
one
that.
or one person playing 2 characters.
What?
And Cross Tekken?
No, not in Cross Tekken, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's either you can play 2v2 or 1v1, but you're using both characters.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and the same is gonna happen with Project L.
Okay. Man, people ain't fuck with that game either ways, man.
Nah.
Cross Tekken. I had that conversation last night, man. Because we debuted this new bracket, right?
Oh, it is scramble mode. Okay. Yeah, I had to look it up just to make sure I'd never played the game.
Dope. Yeah, I didn't know that. So, somebody told me, but there's a Dragon Ball Fighters party mode similar to that as well. But I was talking to Davey Gone Z about a couple ideas that we was doing at Prodigy, and we did the Street Fighter Roulette. This idea I saw somewhere around in the FGC. And you pretty much roll a pair of dice to determine which Street Fighter game you play, and then you run the set in that game, right? And it's like a party thing, right?
Yeah.
Witnessing this.
Nightbreed won, and he got free entry into the next tournament, right? So just a little fun side event, and we were rethinking about the selection of games, right? Because some of them games are not so competitive, and I was like, bro, yeah, we could do Third Strike, yeah, we can do Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. Whatever, people actually played those games.
Yeah.
But I want a wild card. I want Cross Tekken. You know what I'm saying? I want Tatsunoko versus Capcom. I want some wild shit. So, and he was like, man, ain't nobody play Street Fighter X Tekken. Nobody play that game. You might find one person that play that, but that's the key. Like I don't want you knowing the frame data and the tech in this game. I want you to play some random shit.
Exactly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But it was fun though, man. The Street Fighter Roulette thing
It was funny to watch too, just because like you had to roll a dice, and you're like, oh, Street Fighter 3, not the Third Strike.
not the Third Strike playing Second Impact.
It's like you can't parry this now, can you?
Chun-Li's not even in this game.
And you can't
Fuck.
even air block. I was crying of laughter.
Yeah.
Because like the reactions are either it's really good or really bad,
Mm-hmm.
and you see people struggling with movements.
True. But there's something I've learned, man, and FGC.
Yeah, we're just putting the chat on the screen.
Chat.
Buff Dawson. Of course, Herb says this. Really. Oh, fucking Street Fighter.
Something I realized there, man, is like the people that will consistently be on top in those kinds of things. Like
Yeah.
the randomized game, the randomized bracket, are those really strong fighting game players.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about your specialists. I'm not talking about, your top Street Fighter 6 player, your top, Mortal Kombat 1 player, right? I'm talking about overall, the love for fighting games, the fundamentals, the core of what it takes to beat your opponent and best your opponent. Those people will consistently come out on top in a bracket like that, and I love that. I love that.
Actually does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's cool.
Oh my god, I can imagine just someone just like choosing between all these fighting games. It's just Capcom versus SNK.
I like that game too, man. That groove system.
I would love to see another one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
that'd be dope.
Capcom versus SNK.
I feel like it
I want
hasn't
another
been
cross
touched.
game. Any cross game, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like SNK is the the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Since they're doing
Makes
shit,
100% sense.
Yeah.
Sam Show and KOF 15 was great games.
Oh yeah, I played Sam Show as well.
Oh yeah, you did tell me, bro.
Yes,
Shit, Sam Show arc.
but Nightbreed's a real chef, actually.
Oh real?
Yes, he
Oh,
actually.
let me see that, man.
He plays biking.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Plays any game that has biking, even Strive.
Nah, Nightbreed said he don't play Strive no more. He's like, he's done with that game.
He retired, in quotations.
He started.
Everyone retired. Everyone retires and decides to come back. Like, oh yeah. I guess you wonder where I've been.
That's why I can't wait when season 3
3,
drops, because I'm like, the people that said that yo, I'm done with this game. Season 3 drops. Character got some new changes. Be like, you know what? I might come back for one more game. I got one
they came
more
back.
in me.
They came back for milk. Like they were just ready.
Yep. And I think it's a perfect time, not to go too deep into it, but Leffen performance at Evo was kind of indicative of the competitive meta of that game, and I think it's
Like
not so
half the
great.
crowd was not surprised. They're just like,
They booed him, at least that's what I heard.
that
But
was
they,
funny. And he's like, I'm the best Guilty Gear player. I'm like, hold on, this is coming from an X-Smash player.
right.
That's
But
where the ego kicks in.
even though like the transition from his highly technical Zato into Happy Chaos,
Yeah.
you can say that it was a tier whore kind of decision, and just being a strong fighting game player like he is, I feel like he manipulated the competitive scene of that game in particular in his favor, and it showed. He won Evo. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the competitive realm of that game is good. I don't think it's in a good state right now. So I think season 3 is going to shake it up, just like Dragon Ball FighterZ season 3 is going to shake it up.
Yeah, they're balancing a lot
Yeah.
of characters or adding new moves to, I think, 6 out of the 15 base roster first.
Yeah.
And then they're adding a defensive and offensive lines of using your bursts, which is interesting, actually.
I'm hyped.
A lot of
Same.
people are talking shit about Ram, and I'm going to outplay.
You going to outplay this Stun Dipper, bro?
Yes.
Nah, bro, you ain't touching my kite, dog. You ain't touching
I'm
my kite.
outplaying everybody. All I see is like, yeah, Ram slowed down. She's going to be weak. I'm like, that means if you get hit, that is directly on you for not blocking. Take that accountability, bitch.
For real. All right.
Oh, yeah, they did nerf Stun Dipper. I forgot about that.
Oh, wait. Nah. Nah.
They did. They did. I forgot about that.
That's crazy.
But
all right, never mind.
They gave him some faster moves.
Let me hop on Geo.
Oh, just like everybody else and the Brazilians.
Fucking A.
All right, so I want to know, what's your gaming pet peeves? What are some pet peeves, some things that annoy you in gaming that was like, you know what, this annoys me in gaming, that annoys me in gaming. What are some of your pet peeves? It can either be game related, FGC related, like something that just like gets on your nerves.
It gets my gears grinding, huh?
Yeah.
Anything outside of the player control, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we was just talking about Strive, but like, Hacker Man or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? DDoSing the servers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's outside the player control, and I don't like those things, I'm really big on, having the player experience be dictated by the player, right? So, things, like hacking and cheating and this, that, and the third, I don't like those things. They don't really, do too much to me personally, but, I don't like to see those. In terms of like when I'm playing and I got an opponent, if you're doing some grimy shit, bro, like if you're over there in the corner spamming fireball or some shit, like, fight me like a man, bro. Like, where's my honest fight, bro? Let's throw some hands. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit.
I feel like you're calling out Doll Sims now.
Nah. I ain't calling out no Dow Sims. But there's certain players like that. If I could relate it, maybe in the competitive scene, Sonic Fox and MK11, right? Like, how he, or Injustice, I'm tripping. How he just like stayed in the corner and just shot. And it's like, bro, like, I get you got to win. Don't get me wrong, but that shit ain't cool. That shit whack, bro.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that, and I understand why people don't like watching Happy Chaos because like, bro, this shit's whack.
It's not. Yeah, it's not fun to watch.
It's not entertaining because
It's
all
more-
this motherfucker's doing is just shoot, reload.
It
shoot,
is
shoot.
dumb because his moves might be negative, but his bullets are always positive.
Mm.
So like that's how he buffers, and like one little hit and you're dead, or at least it costs you your life
60%.
and your career.
Yeah. So that's an FGC. Definitely. RPGs, man. Like I was just thinking about this. It's funny, right? Just like I was driving here, and I was like, all right, cool. I got 40 minutes. Let me think about some shit. Unskippable like cutscenes and text and dialogue and shit. So like I'm playing an 80-hour RPG. You ain't gotta prolong my shit, bro. Like if I'm trying to skip the scene, if I just died at this final boss, but then I gotta watch a cutscene again to get to like, bro, let me skip the scene. It's not Final Fantasy 16 or FF7 remake, like current RPGs, they don't really have the issues. But when I'm going back and I'm playing, Suikoden or some shit like that, like they got unskippable dialogue and cutscenes, and that shit's annoying, bro. That shit's annoying.
You just like have to wait it out, or
Yeah.
just hold or press X multiple times just to get out of it. Like hurry up.
Yeah.
I feel that because I ain't gonna lie, I'm currently going through that with Final Fantasy 16, and I'm just like, if it's like related to like the progression of the story, cool. But if it's just like side shit, like bro, skip.
Yeah, get through that, man. Get through that. I'm trying to get to the
Like
action.
I don't care about reading and context. I'll do it after I'm trying to get 100% on something.
I would
Right.
for me, it's more of like I want important dialogue, but if this shit is not important to this, to the story or whatnot, it's just casual random talking. I'm just like, bro, skip this shit.
You know what's crazy though? As a kid, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I just didn't want to read. But as a kid, like I used to play all these RPGs, right? And I wouldn't read a single thing, right? Like I'm talking about the simplest of shit. Like I'm playing Pokemon Silver or some shit, right? And I didn't read a thing, and I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm going here and there, right? So I would play all these significant RPGs, right? I played, Dragon Quest 4, Final Fantasy 5, like these 8-bit retro pixel era RPGs, and I didn't read a thing, bro. So I didn't get the story. I didn't get the character development. I was just grinding.
No.
I was just killing mobs, bro. Like,
That's what I want to do in Final Fantasy 16. Like it's
but it's fun to fight in Final Fantasy 16. That's the thing.
yes, and the fight is like done quick.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want more of this shit. I want to fight more. I don't want to spend cutscene. Go here. You have a fight. It doesn't last long, and then there's more cutscene. I'm like, bro.
Feel that. Yo, I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right. RPG fans?
Yes.
I'm like a moderate, like a small one.
Cool. Turn-based or action combat?
I like turn-based.
Bet. Go ahead.
For me, it's for me. I would say it's a bit of both, and it really depends on the game. It's a bit of both. It depends on the game, and it depends on how the turn base is. Like, is it easy to follow? Is it real quick, like quick to the point? Like it doesn't drag out too long or whatnot. So for me, I prefer both, but more so, I would say I would prefer turn-based a little bit more because it is a lot more simple. Action, you can get into a fight, do your combos or whatnot, especially if you know how to be optimal with them. But I think the drawback is, hey, we have more time to add a cutscene, and that's what I'm currently going through in Final Fantasy 16. I'm just like,
Yeah. It's dragging through it. What would be your favorite example of like a turn-based system that you mesh with or like
Generically,
enjoy?
I will say any of the Final Fantasy series before 7.
Okay.
Because I played the OG 1, 2. I played 7. I played 1 on the DS, actually.
Yeah.
Then, what else would I say was another good turn-based? I know for competitive, I enjoyed Dark Cloud.
Okay.
I'm currently playing 1 through an emulator. I played 2, and I never completed it when I was younger.
Yeah, it's a long game.
But the
Long
one
game.
turn-based game I want to play that is mostly controversial is called Fear and Hunger.
Fear and Hunger. I'm not familiar.
So it's a new RPG that came out a couple years ago, I think recently,
Okay.
where everything you do has a consequence and you have to eat or you will die. Or
That's
if,
dope.
Or if you get hit, it will say, "Hey, your arm's cut off." It's just like so many It's like Elden Ring, but turn-based with a lot of consequences, and you'll most likely die within the first.
I
10
like
minutes.
that. That's going on the list for sure.
Like I don't think there's a game that could be streamed. That's like that was addressed earlier by somebody.
Okay.
So if I play it, I'll most likely cry.
Okay.
For me, I would say the games that do for me, my games that I like that does the turn-based. I'm gonna say Persona, Persona
Ooh.
4, Persona 5, especially Persona 5.
Streamline. That's dope.
Thinking of some older games that, bro.
I think-
Dark Cloud's one of them. I remember. Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 13. Man, I'm currently thinking. But I would say the ones that like got it like straight to the point. I would say like Personas, yes. A game that's underrated, and I think underrated. But if you're a fan of the anime, then you know you would appreciate Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. That's
Yeah.
good,
Ooh.
really
Actually
good.
played a little bit of that. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I have like over 100 hours on both of them. So
Oh shit.
yeah, like
Alright. I didn't play that much.
like Digimon games, especially Digimon Story games. I buy all. No, not Digimon Story games. Digimon World games. I buy all of them.
Okay.
Like I've played all of them. So
Dope.
like, yeah. So that's what I'm like. Yeah, those turn-based is like straight to the point. There are some cutscenes, there are some moments and whatnot, but it's like straight to the point. It doesn't drag out. Those RPGs I like, and yeah,
Cool.
Bro, Sleeves mentioned the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
That game, I played it. I played it on an emulator. I could never beat it. It's
Yeah,
pain.
no.
Like if you just like go forward once, oh yeah, your sister Maria has like death going on in her life. And then it's like, oh yo, your horses are dying. Do something. There's just no winning.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a will and there's a way, and it's like that's a pure RNG, depending on what actions you do. Another platformer I would like RPG I would check out is Blasphemous.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It looks
For
like
sure.
it looks like Elden Ring, or it looks like a more Dark Souls theme to
Yeah.
it, but it's like 2D.
It's a Souls like Metrovania.
Yes.
That's what they classify it as.
Right now, I think on
Dope.
Steam it's like $11, and then they have the
Yeah.
second one
They
that's
got a
coming out
second.
next week.
It's called it has a different name. It's not just called Blasphemous 2.
Yeah.
It's like, blasphemous is blasphemy.
Yeah.
But damn. No, that game's dope.
I'm
That
looking
game's
it
dope.
up right now.
The
I think
art
it's just,
style
I think it's
is very,
just called Blasphemous 2.
Really? It's very gritty, man. You seen the game?
nah. This is the first
Dope.
time I'm ever hearing about it.
It's dope. Like personally, you heard of Rivals of Aether?
Yes.
That
yes.
platform fighter. I think they're making Rivals 2 right now. I think that would be a dope character to
Really?
put in Rivals. It's like completely changed the whole aura. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the opposite spectrum when it comes to that RPG element. I like action. I'm an action combat guy. You know what I'm saying? My favorite game at the current moment is Nier Automata.
Yes.
It's not really,
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
not really an RPG all through
But
and
is it-
through,
but-
but
but
it's
is
an
it-
incredible game.
Yeah. I consider it as action RPG.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure, right? Outside of that, I think the Final Fantasy remake was a swan song to all RPGs, right? I think that was probably the best execution anybody could take one of the most influential games and recreate it to. So I enjoy, don't get me wrong, right? I enjoy turn-based games. Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler in current times have been like really strong retro style turn-based games. Persona 5, that's goated. But personally, man, like when you really look at it, action combat keeps you engage like
Yes.
nothing other.
I agree.
Right? So I would have to be action combat. And my you know, my current favorite game is Nier, but my historically favorite game is Chrono Trigger. And something interesting that Chrono Trigger did is that they had this battle system where you didn't just pick your action, right?
Yeah.
You had that meter that filled up.
Oh, you have a resource to rely on.
Not necessarily resource, right? The meter fills in, and then you can pick your action.
Oh.
So if that meter fills in quicker or faster than your opponent, you do your action before your opponent.
I didn't know this actually.
So this is Super NES era. This is 87, right? Am I tripping?
No.
No. Damn. When did Super NES come out?
I can look it up for you.
91. Got my years in the mix. But either way, right? As he looks it up, Super NES era of RPGs had a battle style, like, system with its restrictions.
It came out in 91.
Hey, 91. All right, I fixed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my bad. I said 87. I was thinking about different years, but 91. I said that second. Got to put some respect on Chrono Trigger, you know. So yeah, battle style, action style, combat. That's 100% for me. 100%. I think it keeps you engaged like nothing else, and I think those RPGs are real, like.
Yeah,
the real ones that we should be looking out for.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And I've been playing a lot more of those games because, as you said, it keeps you engaged. It keeps you into the game. You're able to follow it through, and then you're also able to pull out these cool shit in the game. Two JRPGs, action RPGs that I recommend if you have a PS5 or an X series. One, Scarlet Nexus.
Let's go.
I know you mentioned it. Yeah, I remember that game.
Very underrated, solid story. You're learning the story from two different perspectives. You have two very different play styles.
I forgot his name, but Team Kirito. What the dude?
Yuito.
Yeah. 100%. Akane, forget her. Nah, I ain't with it. But yeah. Nah, Scarlet Nexus is incredible.
Yeah, Scarlet Nexus.
Dope.
Highly recommended. Very underrated. Great JRPG. And the other one, Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
Granted, it's long, but there's a lot of action that you can do in the game. And then, of course, you can play as many different characters. And,
right.
Bruh, I'm fucking people up with combos and shit in that game, bro.
Yep.
I loved it. Like, Tales of Arise, it's good. So if you have a console, and I think they're also on PC as well.
Yeah.
Highly recommend getting those two games.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
I played Scarlet Nexus on PC for sure. Yeah, but something I'll say for those two in particular, just because that I would highly agree on that recommendation, is that like all three of us, I'm making the assumption, and all of our viewers, we love anime.
Yeah, that's a really good assumption.
And Tales of Arise and Scarlet Nexus has some of the best animations, right? Like, their cutscenes look like you're watching an episode of an anime.
Yeah.
And then while you're doing the gameplay and cutting up the combos, it looks beautiful, right? So if you like anime at all, you know what I'm saying? If you watch some if you like anime at all, these are going to be the premier games you want to play.
I haven't met a gamer that does not like anime as often.
I met a couple.
It's rare.
I met a couple. Yeah. But,
them dudes are weird.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, no, anime's the move, man.
Yeah.
Anime's the move. Shit, what's the current anime y'all boys on right now?
Bleach.
I ain't start that. The new one, right?
Yeah.
Damn, I ain't start that shit yet.
I took a small break.
It's good.
It's good?
It's
All right, cool.
really
We got the
good.
recommendation.
Yeah, I took a small break, but I finished Hunter x Hunter.
Dope. Yeah, that's a good one to finish.
Then I would generically say One Piece.
Okay.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Herbs, I'm about to ban you, bro.
What does man say? Bleach mid?
Yo, I'm about
even
to-
the original Bleach wasn't mid, bro. What you saying?
He's a
I'm about to
One
ban
Piece.
this man.
Oh my God, Inspector!
Yo, they wildin', bro. What is happening over here?
Yo, Red, I'm about to ban y'all, bro.
Yeah, kick him out real quick, bro.
Oh, be nice.
That's wild. Put some respect on my dog, Ichigo, man. Come on.
Oh, Chad was definitely a go-to character. I need to watch the 1,000-Year Blood War. I've been ducking it.
1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah, the last arc. Because I've been reading the manga, and then I took a break after I caught up with part 1 of it. I don't know if I should read the manga first, then watch it.
Watch it.
Got it.
Yeah,
because I know this is off gaming and whatnot, off gaming topic, but I will say with the 1,000-Year Blood War, they are adding some things that were not in the manga, and it's done very well. And the pacing is really, really good.
Okay.
I'll knock it out, man.
I'm not a big manga guy. Yeah.
Honestly, that's okay.
Yeah.
Bro,
I'll
I'll watch me an anime, but
I was once in between the two, then I went towards manga like maybe last year.
Okay.
Just so I can catch up on series that I haven't watched. Like if you haven't seen Mashal yet,
Mashal.
it's Muscles and Magic.
No.
The main character's name Mash. He's basically like Saitama of Harry Potter world.
Dope.
The shit is funny as fuck. I put on like a few people on Island about it. I read the manga like the first 148 chapters. And I'm like, yeah, this shit's gonna get good animated.
Sounds like a lot of chapters.
Not really. You can knock him out like quick and painless.
Comparatively to One Piece, I'm sure it's not a lot.
Not at all.
But check me out though, bro. The manga situation for me, it goes deeper. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, and I know chat go crazy.
Oh dear.
I watch anime dub exclusively.
I mean,
Like I am not even gonna touch your sub. You know what I'm saying?
oh no.
Yeah. So peep game, right? If I'm not even watching the anime sub, definitely not reading the manga. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, double no.
Like so you know, that's where I'm at, man, you know. And don't get me wrong, like I understand the criticisms when it comes to dubs and how bad the voice acting is and how it removes you from the essence of a character. I heard it all. You feel me? Heard it all, right?
There's few exceptions to
But
like dub.
Yeah, there's a couple good dubs. There's some good voice actors that take pride in their work, but I exclusively watch anime and dub, bro. Like that is me right there.
That's a new one. You know what? I'll respect it for now.
Yeah.
I respect it. It. Like I'm not so hung up on dub and sub or whatnot. If people prefer either one or
It's
whatnot.
as long as the voice is projected well.
Yeah, like for me, it's like for me to accept dub, like the moment has to be like captured like spot on, like because sometimes when it comes to like people who does the English voice acting for a character, and there's like a critical moment that happens and they don't miss it, it's just like
I hear you.
Like good references: Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, there's like few animes that I'll watch English dub because the voice acting is
Oh yeah. Like
it's spot on.
And you notice, bro, like anytime somebody gives you a list of like goated dubs, it's always them old joints.
yes.
Right? It's
Yes.
the classic joints. And you know why? Because more, like high chances you probably watch that show on TV.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
Right.
Dragon Ball Z is a good reference.
They wasn't playing no subs on Toonami. You know
Nah.
what I'm saying?
They never did.
You
anyway.
watch Dragon Ball, you watch Naruto, you watch Inuyasha, dub. You know what I'm saying? And now that we have access to Crunchyroll and Funimation and free, I ain't even gonna name the free websites. Like
I'll
now
be
that
on
we
them.
Same.
now that we have
we ain't
access
hiding
to
here.
to those things, it's like all right, cool. Maybe I do prefer sub, but. Man, I'm watching Naruto. I'm listening to this female voice act. I'm vibing, bro. It's on TV. I'm eating cereal. All right,
You're doing your thing.
I ain't mad at it, man.
Yeah.
So, man, I remember a video, bro. I don't even know if you remember this time, but my boy, Racket Comedy, he did a
I know.
Yeah, we used to work together, man. That's my man's, and he was contemplating, like, yo, how can I stir up this this anime convention I'm coming to, Otaku Fest, right? And I was like, just say some wild shit, bro. Go in the middle of a crowd, say some wild shit.
Oh.
And we started talking about ideas. And he was like, yeah.
What did he do?
Dub is better than sub. Convince me otherwise, right? So scream that shit in the middle of like a little gathering, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? The buddy. I don't even know his name, but like he puts on a hat, and he says some like outrageous shit. Like political, I ain't even gonna repeat none. Like he said some outrageous shit, and he sits at a table and he's like, "Convince me otherwise." You know what I'm saying?
Why
Changed
do
my
I
mind.
feel like I know about?
Changed my mind.
Yes, the change
Yeah.
my mind meme.
So he did that shit with Dub is better than Sub. Changed my mind. Right? He had the hat on and shit. And it was an incredible video. You know what I'm saying? Like, Racket Comedy makes incredible videos.
He does.
And
That's funny.
honestly, I agree with that, bro. I think Dub is better than Sub. Changed my mind, man. Convinced me otherwise.
Oh, man.
But yeah, back to the game. Back to the game.
Yeah. And speaking of games, we're at the closing remarks. Because we're running out of time, and the arcade's got to open up pretty soon. So, to wrap this up, do you have like anything that you want to share with us? Or before we wrap up, what do you do? What you got going on? So on and so forth. Like,
Absolutely.
this
For
is
sure.
your moment to shine.
That was my moment. Yo. First of all, I want to say I'm eternally grateful and thankful for Island and Flins and Silverback for the support that they showed me in my journey as a TO and as an FGC community member. And, I'm really thankful for the position that I have to even come on a platform like this and speak my piece and speak my truth and really chop it up about old video games and Dub is better than like I'm really thankful and proud of myself as well for my progress that I've made in such a short time. If nobody believes in you, you have to believe in yourself, and I truly do. And I'm proud of myself for what I've been able to accomplish with the support of the people around me. Right. So first off, great job to Silverback. Great job to Waluigi. South Florida Gamers Podcast is a really incredible platform.
Thanks so much.
For
Appreciate that.
gamers to come together and talk, and is wonderful. So I had to get that out of the way. You know what I'm
That's fine,
saying?
that's
But like I said at the beginning, my name is DK, and that means a lot to me. I'm not Donkey Kong. I'm not Drift King. You know what I'm saying? I'm none of those things. I'm DK, and that means something to me. I'm Dredknot, and that represents a lot. If you ever catch me at an event or catch me at Otaku or Major or something like that, maybe you can ask me that question. We won't really go into it, but that means a lot to me, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I can stand for what I stand for and do what I love, which is play video games, explore technology, explore my interests with the people that I find to be, very cool and who I revere. So I run the DK's Battle Lounge. If you haven't heard about it, we run tournaments in West Palm Beach and Lake Worth at Prodigy Games. I'm a TO. I'm passionate about the FGC and esports culture, so I host tournaments. I also work with Flins under Silverback Senpai, and I work at Gamers Heaven under Arrow Dusk. These are my mentors. These are the people I look up to. These are the people I learn all of my things from. So major thanks to those people who have, graciously passed on their nuggets of knowledge that they've gained over the couple of years that they've been doing it, so that I can, be even stronger in my journey. But, I'm just excited for the future. I'm excited for more majors to happen. I'm excited for more things to happen in my journey. And if you're excited, just like how I'm excited, I'm saying, you should join us. You should join, DK Battle Lounge, Island, Flins, your local, wherever you are. Tune into the stream. Just support and be a part of the community and interact with us. Be our friends. Be our homies. You know what I'm saying? That's all we asking for. That's all I could, really ask for as well.
my heart.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100%. 100%.
Thank you. All right, Waluigi, any closing remarks?
Oh, DK, thank you so much for joining us.
For sure.
It's been an honor. Also, the fact that,
honor.
once I saw you in February, once Anubis actually put me on, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I gotta go.
The GOAT.
Yeah, literally. If I did not find out about him, I wouldn't have known about DK until later. And I definitely appreciate that. And then the fact you actually helped me build a PC.
Yo. Hey, shout out to Waluigi for trusting your boy.
Oh, literally.
You know what I'm saying?
I did not question. Once I heard good things, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it.
That's what's up.
Because like now I'm able to stream, able to build a setup, able to play more games without any worry of this lovely laptop I have. And seeing you in Prodigy actually is like a lot of fun. You have the interaction, you have the people, the good vibes, the music, snacks, and I definitely see a lot more going on.
Yes,
I'm definitely looking forward to it, even as a representative of Island.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
All right. And as for me, my closing remarks, especially for you, thank you so much for being our guest. And fun fact for those that are watching, I met DK at Otaku Fest this year.
Yes, sir.
And look where he at now.
Yes, sir.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Nah,
7 months ago?
for real.
Yeah.
And I came to Silverback Wild too, bro. I'm over here. I'm like, yo, what kind of mixer you using? He's like, bro, yo, who this random dude looking at my equipment like that? He's like, hey, and then I got to interact with Silverback and tell him my ambitions, and he,
Yeah.
And it made sense.
We got to make that connection from there. But it's
that's
been a very
awesome.
short time, and
Yeah.
a very dense time as well.
Oh, yeah, very dense.
Yeah.
Because during that time at Otaku Fest, I was running the event because that was like my main priority was making sure that, everything was running nice and smooth. And then, of course, I was also planning Fighter Fest literally right after it. So I'm just, getting everything organized and, in order, making sure everything's okay. And then that's where, I met Dredknot and, just, told them like, this is how I run things and whatnot. But of course, how I run things at a convention is completely different at what you'll do at a local. Because, there are some things that you have to take into consideration. And for me, it's more so, making sure people have a great experience, a good time, and you don't want to abuse that time. You don't want to make sure, like, people are staying longer than they should be. Like, it should be, like, in, out, but they have a good time in the process of doing so. Yep. And when you were doing stuff up in West Palm, and I remember, you and I were, talking about it, going back and forth, and I told him, like, you need to make West Palm yours because as I currently, you need to make West Palm yours. Whoever you have in your circle, trying to, grow that West Palm scene, like, y'all need to make that yours because that is free, open area. And granted, I will say this, as a TO, more locals is a good thing. But it's also a bad thing because that also means less people are now going to go to locals and they're going to prioritize which ones that you're going to go to. Like, and when I say that, I say it like people from West Palm are rarely going to go to the locals down in Miami.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And Miami all the way up to West Palm, vice versa, because of that distance. So if you're in this area, if you're in this county, you need to make sure you grab as many people in that county as much as possible to come to your event because, one, that helps grow you, and, of course, that helps grow the South Florida FGC scene all in total. And it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You're going to have to do what I call a lot of guerrilla tactics. That means you're going to have to start going out to places to find people within your area, be like, where can I find gamers locally to have them come out to my venue for my events? Because, we have people in South Florida, but some of them are far away. So it's like,
correct,
they're not my target demographic.
They aren't your locals.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They're not local to me. Granted, they'll come, but I'm not going to expect them to come all the time, and that's completely fine because gas prices are a bitch these days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, it is.
So that being said, I need to attract the people that are within my area, who are maybe 20, 30 minutes away from the venue. So that way, hey, let me try to scoop them around, tell them about our events, and I even told you. Hey, if you're able to do one at a convention or a gaming event up in West Palm, find out who the point of contact is, make that connection, and get something started. So that way, hey, I got my foot in the door, and I want to see where can I, go with it next. I want to, be able to prove myself, and of course, and this is something I'm also going to say to anyone, whatever you do professionally, two things. One, be effective as fuck. Be effective as fuck doing it, especially solo. Be 100% effectively doing it solo because the people that know about my journey here at Flynn's, y'all know that I've done this shit by myself in the very beginning. be effectively solo. That's one. And the second thing, be professionally aggressive in what you
Professionally aggressive.
Yep.
I like that.
That's
I like that.
That's my advice. So
Okay.
with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for watching and tuning into the podcast. Thank y'all so much. You already know where y'all find the audio versions of this podcast. Go to Spotify.
Tell them anyway.
Yeah, Spotify. Don't go to SoundCloud. Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all those other places. Just don't go to SoundCloud, and you'll be all right, and you'll find us. South Florida Gamers Podcast. But other than that, hey, we out. We signing out. Y'all have yourselves a good one.
Peace.
Let's go West Palm.